Jason gets emotional, Curtis and Nina make a plan, and Chase gets bad news. Hello everyone. Welcome back to my channel. I hope everyone is having a nice day. Before we begin the video, please subscribe and give the video a thumbs up. Did you catch General Hospital yet today? Even if you did, you may have missed something because this hour was jam-packed with drama, so let's recap it all. Today's episode begins with Sonny Corinthos, Maurice Benard, getting a visit from his daughter, Christina Corinthos, Kate Mansi. She is relieved to see that he is okay, but wonders why he missed the opening night of Charlie's Pub. Christina fills Sonny in on how great things went, but she clearly wishes that he was there for her. It was the best night that Christina has had in months. She also brings up Avery, and how she will testify to make sure that Ava Jerome, Maura West, doesn't get custody of the child. They discuss how Ava will attack Sonny, and he keeps stopping her and saying that Diane will handle it. Nina Reeves, Cynthia Watros, storms into Curtis Ashford's, Donald Turner, and apologizes in advance for needing to vent about Drew Quatermain, Cameron Matheson, and he interrupts to vent himself. He tells her how Drew threatened to use his position in Congress to undermine the company. Nina realizes that Drew is using the things or people that they care about most as leverage. Curtis again suggests Nina tell Willow Corinthos, Kathleen McMullen, the truth. Nina still has her reservations about telling her daughter that she was sleeping with Drew first, but she knows that secrets and lies ruin everything. Curtis reminds her that she is actually giving Drew the leverage. Curtis has an idea. He thinks that if he and Nina team up to sabotage Drew's connections in DC, then he'll be a freshman congressman with no friends and no leverage. General Hospital recap. Drew is rejected and decides to make a move. Drew is outside the front gate of the Quatermain's estate, where he has been told he is no longer welcome. He calls Monica to make sure that she really has ordered Yuri to turn him away. From there he goes and meets with Martin Gray, Michael E. Knight. He explains that he has been banned from the property, and even Monica won't return his calls. Marty has empathy for Drew, until Drew starts going off about Michael Corinthos, and how he was always the family favorite. Martin interrupts him to remind him that Michael is a victim in a burn unit, and that he is likely not thinking about Drew right now. Drew mentions that he needs a new home for Scout in Port Charles, and he realizes that Lucy Coe, Lynn Herring, is at a nearby table. Drew calls her over and explains that he needs a 5-bedroom home. Clearly, he is making room for Willow and her kids too. Lulu Spencer, Alexa Havens-Bruning, has been out of her coma and running around Port Charles for weeks now, and finally, she has had a real conversation with her mother, Laura Collins, Jenny Francis. The mayor of Port Charles walked into her office and found her daughter waiting for her. The two sat down and had a real chat. Lulu realizes how self-absorbed she has been since waking, and that the panic she feels about reaching her daughter must be exactly how Laura felt about her for the last 4 years. The two finally bond, and then the topic turns to Lucky Spencer, Jonathan Jackson. Laura fears that her son is either in real trouble or about to be. She is noticing that as he gets older he is more like his father Luke Spencer, and that means trouble is likely near. Lucky and Liz Baldwin, Rebecca Herbst, are on a mission to get information about Cyrus Renault, Jeff Kober, that can help link him to the murders at General Hospital. The two visit Turning Wood, the rehab facility that Lulu escaped from, in the hopes of getting information. They want a list of the patients that Cyrus regularly visits, and Liz believes that a nurse that she knows will help. The problem is that she is not in. The two convince another nurse to give them the list, but before she can, the facility's director walks in and is furious. He clashed with Lucky when Lulu was missing. The two have a heated exchange as Liz creeps over to the printer and gets the list. The director catches her behind the counter and asks what she is doing. Liz covers and says that she had just dropped her purse. They make it out the door with the list in hand. Jason Morgan, Steve Burton, arrives at Anna Devane's, Finola Hughes, office and says that she has an update on Jen Sidwell, Carlo Rota. She tells him that he is planning on staying in Port Charles. She briefs Jason on the meeting that she had with Sidwell in Laura's office and how he wants to use their city as a new hub for his business. That she can't flat out stop him because he has no international charges pending. His kidnapping of Sasha Corbin, Sophia Matson, was never reported, so they can't use that either. Anna tells Jason that he can't go after Sidwell on his own. Jason believes that Sidwell is responsible for the fire at Sunny's, and if he is, Jason can't let it go. He has to do something about it, because he saw Michael on fire, and Michael is like a son to him. Anna understands Jason's reaction, but she points out that if he retaliates, then Sidwell will, and there is no guarantee that someone innocent won't be hurt again, like Michael was. She says that they need to break the cycle of violence. Natalia arrives at Sunny's, while Christina is still there, and she mentions Lay. Sunny plays it off as a business trip for deception, and Christina leaves. Natalia is stunned that Sunny hasn't told his kids about his heart condition, and he says he doesn't want to worry them. Natalia explains how she has laid the groundwork for their trip to look like business, but she has actually booked them a hotel right across the street from the hospital. Harrison Chase, Josh Swickard, pays Willow a visit in the gatehouse. He brings her a welcome home gift, a candle that also doubles as a thank you for dropping the charges gift. Willow tells Chase that most of the Quartermains hate her, and they hate Drew even more. She asks what is happening with him and Brooke Lynn Quartermain, Amanda Seton, and he tells her that they are trying to have a baby. He mentions that they have both gone through testing to make sure that everything is okay. While chatting with Willow, Chase ignores a phone call and then gets a text saying his lab results are ready. He asks Willow if she can decipher them, and she looks and suggests that Chase called his doctor back. Chase pushes, and Willow says that based on the tests, he cannot father a child. The January 27 episode of General Hospital was nothing short of dramatic, packed with emotional highs and devastating lows that left fans eagerly awaiting what's next. The day opened with Jason Morgan grappling with a flood of emotions, a rare and poignant moment for the usually stoic enforcer. After a heated confrontation with Carly Spencer over the fallout from recent events, Jason found himself reflecting on the choices he's made and the toll they've taken on those he loves most. Alone at Sunny's penthouse, Jason finally let his guard down, allowing a wave of vulnerability to wash over him. For a man who has spent years burying his feelings to focus on the job, this marked a pivotal shift. Sam McCall, still struggling to navigate her complicated relationship with Jason, decided to reach out after hearing about his emotional state. Their conversation was tense, but laced with the undeniable chemistry that has kept fans rooting for them over the years. Will this moment of openness bring them closer together, or are they doomed to remain at an impasse? Meanwhile, over at the Savoy, Curtis Ashford and Nina Reeves were deep in conversation, formulating a bold plan to secure the future of the nightclub and protect their loved ones. With tensions in Port Charles running high, the duo's alliance has never been more critical. Curtis, still coming to terms with his new reality after his spinal cord injury, has thrown himself into his work, determined to create a safe space for his community. Nina, burdened by her own share of secrets and regrets, vowed to stand by Curtis no matter what. Together, they devised a strategy to keep their businesses thriving while shielding themselves from the threats that continue to loom large. But as Nina's relationship with Sonny Corinthos remains under scrutiny, her ability to keep her priorities in order is called into question. Will Nina's loyalty to Sonny cloud her judgment, or will she rise to the occasion and prove she's a force to be reckoned with? Elsewhere, Detective Harrison Chase received some devastating news that threatened to derail his already fragile sense of stability. Chase, who has been through the ringer in recent months, was blindsided by a call from General Hospital, where Dr. Portia Robinson delivered the grim update about his ongoing health struggles. Still recovering from the poisoning that nearly took his life, Chase learned that his condition might have long-term implications, casting doubt on his ability to continue his career in law enforcement. The weight of this revelation was palpable as Chase confided in Brooke Lynn Quatermain, who has remained a steadfast source of support between Chase and Brooke Lynn has only deepened in recent weeks, and their heartfelt exchange underscored the strength of their connection. But with Chase's future hanging in the balance, questions remain about how this will impact their dynamic moving forward. Will Brooke Lynn's unwavering faith in Chase be enough to help him overcome this latest setback? Or will the pressure prove too much for the pair to handle? Adding to the day's drama, Elizabeth Webber found herself at odds with her son Cameron after a heated argument about his recent behavior. Cameron, still reeling from the fallout of his breakup with Jocelyn Jacks, has been acting out in ways that have left Elizabeth deeply concerned. Determined to get through to him, Elizabeth enlisted the help of Laura Collins, whose calming presence and sage advice have often served as a guiding light for the Webber family. Laura encouraged Elizabeth to approach the situation with patience and understanding, reminding her that Cameron's struggles are a natural part of growing up. As Elizabeth and Cameron shared an emotional heart-to-heart later in the episode, it became clear that their bond remains unbreakable despite the challenges they faced. But with Cameron's emotions running high and his judgment clouded, the road ahead is bound to be a rocky one. Will Elizabeth's unwavering support be enough to steer Cameron in the right direction, or will he continue down a path of self-destruction? Over at Windermere, Nicholas Cassadine's plans for the future were thrown into disarray after a surprise visit from Ava Jerome. Ava, ever the wild card, wasted no time in confronting Nicholas about the secrets he's been keeping. Their volatile exchange quickly escalated, with both parties airing grievances that have been simmering beneath the surface for far too long. Despite the animosity between them, there were moments of vulnerability that hinted at the complicated love that still lingers. As Nicholas and Ava found themselves at an impasse, the question of whether they can truly move forward loomed large. With so much at stake, including the well-being of their son, Spencer, the pair must decide whether to let their differences tear them apart or find a way to rebuild their fractured relationship. The tension was palpable as Ava stormed out of Windermere, leaving Nicholas to grapple with the fallout of their confrontation. Will Nicholas take responsibility for his actions and fight for his family, or will his pride and stubbornness continue to drive a wedge between him and Ava? As the episode drew to a close, the tension in Port Charles showed no signs of abating. With secrets being exposed, relationships tested, and lives hanging in the balance, the stakes have never been higher. The January 27 episode of General Hospital delivered the perfect blend of heartache and hope, reminding viewers why this iconic soap opera has remained a staple of daytime television for decades. Fans will undoubtedly be counting down the days until the next installment, eager to see how these storylines unfold and what twists and turns lie ahead. Thanks for watching this video, and please subscribe to our YouTube channel for more updated news.